Around the world. President Tinubu signs amended Electoral Act 2026 into law. Again, President Tinubu, governors, UN felicitate Muslims, Christians at Ramadan length. Governor Makinde preaches love, harmony during Ramadan length. And on the foreign scene, 6 skiers rescued in California avalanche. Good evening and welcome to News Around the World here on BCOS television. I am Idowu Shekuni. In the sign language corner is Korede Oluleye. President Bola Tinubu has signed the Electoral Act 2026 amendment into law just days after the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, released timetable for the 2027 general elections. The signing took place at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, around 5 p.m. on Wednesday, with principal officers of the National Assembly in attendance. Recall that the National Assembly had passed a bill on Tuesday after debates over the electronic transmission of election results. Protesters, civil society groups, and some opposition figures have long pushed for real-time transmission of results from polling units to INEC's central server, arguing it would curb manipulation and strengthen credibility. The 2027 general elections are scheduled to hold on February 20 for presidential and National Assembly elections and March 6 for governorship and state houses of assembly elections. President Bola Tinubu has expressed that it is not a common occurrence for lengthened Ramadan to begin on the same day. The president urged that as a people of faith, Christians and Muslims share a lot in common and are one people under God. The president, in his lengthened and Ramadan message, urged Nigerians to ensure good neighborliness, promote peace, unity, and stability, as well as pray for the progress and security of the nation. President Tinubu further urged the citizenry to live by the good precepts of their faiths and be honorable in their duty to God and fellow humans. Meanwhile, as Muslims start Ramadan, governors and the United Nations UN have joined global leaders in preaching the message of love, peace, and sacrifice. From the seats of power in different states to the United Nations, the call for self-denial was unanimous. The governors extended warm felicitations to Muslims in their states across Nigeria and around the world on the commencement of the Ramadan fast. They noted that Ramadan goes beyond abstinence from food and drink, characterizing it as a school of character and a sanctuary for the heart. While highlighting the values associated with the month, the governors called on Nigerians to embody compassion, charity, unity, and mutual care. On the spot, the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres advised all to heed Ramadan's enduring message to bridge divides, deliver help and hope to those who are suffering while safeguarding the rights and dignity of everyone. Similarly, as 2026 Ramadan and lengthened seasons commence, the Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has felicitated the Muslim Ummah and Christians in the state and all over the country. The governor urged them to use the blessed period to make deeper commitment in serving God and making impact on humanity. Governor Makinde made this known in a statement signed on Wednesday by Special Advisor on Media, Dr. Sulaiman Olariwaju. The governor pointed out that God Almighty was using the coincidence in the two fasting seasons to teach adherents of both religions the need for love, unity, and harmony, emphasizing that the lesson must not be lost throughout the period. It tasked all to use the 2026 Ramadan and Lent fasting periods to further make supplication to God for the state and Nigeria, as well as the leaders. In the meantime, the Ààrẹ Mùsùlùmí of Yoruba land, Edo and Delta states, His Eminence Alhaji Dawood Akinola, has extended warm congratulations to the Ummah across Yoruba land, Nigeria, and the world as they commence the holy month of Ramadan 2026. That's 1447 AH. In his goodwill message to Muslims around the world, the highly respected Islamic leader described Ramadan as a sacred period of deep reflection, spiritual rejuvenation, self-discipline, and renewed commitment to the teachings of Islam. He urged the faithful to maximize the blessings of the holy month through sincere devotion, increased acts of charity, compassion for the less privileged, and fervent prayers for peace and progress of Nigeria. The Ààrẹ Mùsùlùmí further encouraged Muslim leaders, scholars, and youths to use the period to promote peaceful coexistence and national development while offering special prayers for Nigeria's stability, security, and prosperity. In the same vein, Islamic clerics in Orilegbo, Gambari, Agilite have described the Ramadan fast as a sacred period that strengthens faith, promotes discipline, and fosters peaceful coexistence among Muslims and the larger community. The chief imam of Gambari, Sheikh Al-Hassan Sisi, who made the description while speaking with BCOS reporter Oyefeso Olaito on the significance of Ramadan, explained that it goes beyond abstaining from food and drink. Noting that it is a period of total submission to the will of Allah, the cleric explained that the fast encourages Muslims to purify their hearts, avoid immoral acts, and extend kindness to the less privileged. Also speaking, Imam Asaruddin of Gambari, Sheikh Abdulaziz Ibrahim, emphasized that Ramadan teaches patience, humility, and self-control, urging the faithful to uphold the teachings of Islam during and after the fasting period. Nigerian Muslims, like their counterparts across the world, have commenced the holy month of Ramadan, ushering in a period of deep spiritual reflection and renewed devotion. Ramadan is a sacred season that calls believers to sincere worship, self-discipline, and a closer connection with their Creator. BCOS reporter Awao Ibrahim takes a closer look at the significance of this holy month. The report is presented by Fedora Afolagui.
Ramadan, the 9th month of the Islamic lunar calendar, holds profound importance in Islam. For many Muslims, it is a time to reconnect the body and soul to acts of worship, particularly after months of worldly engagement and distractions. More than hunger and thirst, Ramadan symbolizes a conscious return to Allah in prayers, reflection, discipline, devotion. In an interview with BCOS News, the Chief Imam, University of Ibadan Muslim Community, Professor Ibrahim Uthman, described Ramadan as a deeply significant season in the life of every Muslim.
The month of Ramadan is like a training month, a refresher course for Muslims to reconnect themselves with the divine, with the Almighty. You know, as human beings, we make mistakes, we forget, but in the month of Ramadan, we learn to go back to our source. So the essence of Ramadan is to call us back that we are going too deep into the world and there is a need for us to get back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
According to Professor Uthman, Ramadan is a month of spiritual cleansing and purification, during which Muslims are encouraged to intensify acts of worship, increase good deeds, seek forgiveness, and extend charity to the less privileged.
If every Muslim that is well-to-do takes off this obligation of feeding at least just a needy Muslim every day, you know it will go a long way in taking care of people outside there. And Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu also tells us, Laysa bi mu'min alladhi yashba wa jaruhu ja'ihun. He or she is not a Muslim who eats to his or her fill when your immediate neighbor is going hungry. So it is not enough to say you are fasted and at break time you bring all this food and people are afraid, how are you going to finish them? Rather than doing that, you also send this food to the less privileged around you, and by so doing, everybody will be taken care of.
He further explained that the essence of fasting goes beyond abstaining from food and drink. Rather, it is a discipline of the arts, teaching patience, humility, empathy for the needy, and self-restraint. As Muslims observe the holy month, clerics continue to urge believers to uphold its values beyond Ramadan, allowing its lessons to shape their daily lives.
We now take a short commercial break. News around the world, we'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
Win your share of 3 billion naira with Nivea. 1,000 naira airtime guaranteed with every entry. Become one of 10 millionaires weekly. Or win a chance to see Real Madrid live. 3 SUVs to be won. Buy any Nivea 400ml promo product, scratch and dial to enter.
Alright everyone, no put your ears, make we talk. Time don't reach to rearrange this house to give una small wisdom. Sounds mighty fresh now, but you know, I beg no be so. Before una go talk, say our smile no reach. Make una think am twice so. Ever heard of Colgate, the #1 oral care brand in the world?
Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection unlocks 24 hours cavity defense. The formula boost with calcium for lifelong smiles.
Mom, it's a time to brush. No more cover mouth. Because we Colgate, that's who do yaga with your smile.
Colgate for 24 hours maximum cavity protection.
During this blessed month, we begin with prayer, with faith, and with the spirit of giving. Ramadan is more than just about fasting. It's about bringing hearts together. Together we break our fast and celebrate the blessings of this holy month. Bring out the flavors of the season with Anga. Ramadan Kareem.
Welcome back. Today is Ash Wednesday, marking the beginning of the Lenten season, a 40-day fast period. BCOS reporter Olamipo Sishola was at St. Patrick's Catholic Church in Basharun, Ibadan to cover the service for Ash Wednesday. Here is his report.
Devotees from across Ibadan converged at St. Patrick's Catholic Church, Basharun, today for the Ash Wednesday service, marking the start of the 40-day Lenten fast. During the service, worshippers partook in Holy Communion and received ashes on their foreheads, symbolizing mortality and repentance. In his message, parish priest Reverend Father Ekene Ugwebu urged faithful to draw closer to God during the sacred season.
This is a season of repentance, a season of returning to the Lord. And as a nation, I encourage everyone to return to the Lord, doing good and knowing that one day we shall depart this earth.
Reverend Father Ugwebu emphasized the significance of Ash Wednesday by reminding everyone that untimely all will return to God empty-handed, therefore encouraging people to do good at all times.
You can see the ash on my forehead. It's a sign that we are dust, and unto dust we shall return. And everything we do on this earth, all our achievements, I am this, you know who I am, everything is just 6 feet. We are created from dust, and unto dust we shall return. This is a reminder, and also to let us know that we have a duty to return to our God. Our home is heaven, not this earth.
The Lenten journey, which begins today, is a time for reflection, prayer, and spiritual renewal lasting 40 days leading up to Easter. Olamiposi Ishola, BCOS News.
Ash Wednesday is a significant religious event among Christians that marks the commencement of Lent, a 40-day period of reflection and fasting before Easter. This is observed by many Christians of Catholic, Anglican, and Methodist churches with ash on their foreheads as a symbol of mortality and repentance. BCOS correspondent in Ogbomoso, Aderemi Akomu, monitored the service of Ash Wednesday in the area. At Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church, Ogbomoso, the parish priest, Reverend Father Babatunde Olabode, said apart from being the first of the 40 days length, the practice is to understand that everyone is from dust and later returns to dust. The Reverend Father added that this reminds believers of the transitory nature of life. Similarly, Ash Wednesday service, which was held in Anglican and Methodist churches in the area, featured blessings of ashes and special prayers for the nation, state, vineyards of God, and households. In his contribution, Reverend Niyi Adebayo of True Worshippers called on Christians to use the period for prayers towards sustainability of unity, peace, and love in the country. At public gatherings across Oyo State and other parts of the country, it is becoming increasingly common to see individuals seated, walking about, chatting, or using their mobile phones during the rendition of the national anthem. Worried by the growing trend, Oyo State Director of the National Orientation Agency, NOA, Mrs. Ajolayo Akode, cautioned that continued disregard for the national anthem could erode unity and weaken citizens' sense of patriotism and civic responsibility. BCOS reporter Adiola Oladele examines the need to uphold respect for national symbols.
National symbols including the national anthem, the Nigerian flag, and the coat of arms embody the nation's unity, sovereignty, and collective identity. They serve as reminders of Nigeria's history, struggles, and shared aspirations for a better future. Traditionally, standing at attention during the national anthem and showing reverence to these symbols are regarded as fundamental civic responsibilities and visible expressions of patriotism. However, recent observations across Oyo State reveal a concerning pattern. At some public functions, a number of citizens remain seated, walk about, engage in conversations, or stay glued to their mobile phones while the national anthem is being rendered, a development many observers describe as a gradual decline in national consciousness and civic discipline. Speaking on the issue, the Oyo State Director of the National Orientation Agency, Mrs. Ajolayo Akode, outlined measures being implemented by the agency to restore respect for national symbols. She also emphasized the importance of proper rendition of the national anthem and adherence to established protocols during official ceremonies.
The first stanza should be recited at the beginning of an official event. The third stanza has been adopted as national prayer. Whenever we have an official event, instead of calling on one pastor or imam and leaving out our traditional worshippers, to pray. So it is better for us to use the third stanza of the national anthem, and the national pledge should be recited at the end of an official event. The three stanzas are not to be recited by students at assembly. The three stanzas are to be recited at an official event, such as the inauguration of a president, the inauguration of National Assembly, the inauguration of a governor, Democracy Day.
Mrs. Akode stressed that while government efforts are ongoing, parents and educational institutions must reinforce the teaching of national values and civic responsibility from an early age.
When we all stand up, whenever the national anthem is being sung or recited, it's not the kind of worshiping the national anthem or doing something that is contrary to one's belief, but it's a mark of honor that we are standing together as one. Despite our differences, we are standing together as one Nigeria. Try to do the needful so that we will join hands together to move our nation forward. The little act of standing for our national anthem and the national pledge, when they are being recited, is so enormous. We might just think that it's so little, but it's so enormous. It's moving Nigeria, part of the effort to move Nigeria to greatness.
The NOA director therefore urged Nigerians who consider standing for the national anthem as outdated or insignificant to reconsider their stance, describing the act as a simple but powerful demonstration of loyalty, unity, and commitment to the nation's ideals. Respect for national symbols, she maintained, is not merely ceremonial, it is a reflection of collective identity and national pride. Adiola Oladele, BCOS News.
We have another timeout. News around the world. We'll be right back.
When malaria knocks you down, you can be sure parasites are having a party in your system.
Welcome to our new kingdom, guys!
Comel, an effective weapon against malaria. Attacking the parasite army directly to give you express relief and get you back on your feet effectively. Comel on. Malaria gone.
With Nivea Dry Deo, you can keep moving forward in life with confidence. Nivea Dry Deo. Derma 72-hour active protection against sweat and odor with 0% alcohol to prevent irritation. Stay dry and fresh all day long. Skin is for moving forward, Nivea is for skin. Your favorite Nivea Deo, now in a smaller pack size.
Cadbury 3-in-1 hot chocolate, the treat you deserve.
This Ramadan, it's not the season to hide, it's the season to let my beauty shine. Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Lotion 5-in-1 Complete Care. Discover deep nourishment with cocoa butter, deep moisture serum, and vitamin E for long-lasting moisture and protection from dry and ashy skin without the greasy feel. Get the Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Glow this Ramadan. Skin is for always shining. Nivea is for skin.
It's good to have you back. A mini reception has been held in honor of 4 security operatives attached to the office of the Oyo State Deputy Governor, Barrister Bayo Lawal, following their recent promotion to the rank of Assistant Superintendent of Police. The officers honored are Ojo Adeyinka, Oyegbola Abiodun, Olanipekun Abiodun, and Odejimi Adekunle. Staff reporter Adebayo Abdurrafi witnessed the occasion held at the private residence of the No. 2 citizen in the state.
The brief but remarkable ceremony was attended by well-wishers who gathered to celebrate the newly promoted officers. Speaking at the event, the Oyo State Deputy Governor, Barrister Bayo Lawal, described the officers as reliable and professional aides who have consistently provided crucial security advice and ensured among various security units working within the government house. He urged them to guide and guard their new rank jealously and avoid any form of abuse of power. Barrister Bayo Lawal emphasized that steady growth, humility, and contentment are essential virtues in service, noting that arrogance can hinder progress and that the misuse of authority often has catastrophic consequences. He added that the officers' dedication, loyalty, honesty of purpose, and gentlemanly conduct earned them the elevation.
I'm not really surprised that this promotion has come because of dedication, professionalism, loyalty, and honesty of purpose that they have brought into the job. But more importantly, as the Yoruba echoes, they are complete gentlemen.
The Deputy Governor also encouraged other officers awaiting promotion to remain patient, diligent, and professional while maintaining good human relations. In her remarks, the wife of the Deputy Governor, Mrs. Ajibola Lawal, described the promoted officers as responsible and dependable, saying they relate within the office like members of one family and have demonstrated a high sense of professionalism.
Well, they've all been doing well and they are still doing well, especially the lady amongst them. She works directly with me. She's my SIB officer, and we relate like daughter and mother. Besides the official activities, she does so many things for me. She's passionate about myself, and she's part of the family. And the guys, they have been wonderful.
Also speaking, the administrative officer in charge of the Oyo State Government House, Superintendent of Police Abiodun Odukoya, charged the officers to prioritize public relations over financial inducement, noting that the superintendent cadre is a sensitive rank that requires a high level of responsibility and integrity. The event concluded with prayers for continued success and higher achievements in their careers. Adebayo Abdurafi, BCOS News.
Congratulations are in order. Senator Shehu Sani has welcomed the United States security collaboration with Nigeria, describing it as a needed step in the country's push for peace. Sani spoke on Wednesday during an interview with newsmen in the wake of U.S. troops' arrival in Nigeria. He noted that the country cannot afford to fold its arms and close its doors against support from other countries while terrorists continue to slaughter and kidnap Nigerians. Recall that the Defense Headquarters, DHQ, had on Monday confirmed the arrival of 100 U.S. troops and equipment in Nigeria. Defense spokesman Smaila Uba said the move came after a security deal between the North American nation and Nigeria. Still on security, a security scholar, Dr. Michael Adeniji, has cautioned that increasing troop deployment alone will not end insecurity in Nigeria. Dr. Adeniji made the remarks while speaking on the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State's Current Affairs program during a discussion on the United States' decision to freeze the assets of 8 Nigerians over alleged terrorism links. BCOS reporter Fedora Folagboye monitored the program and now brings the details.
The state has frozen the assets of 8 Nigerians suspected of having links to terrorism. While U.S. officials described the action as part of the effort to disrupt terror financing networks, the decision has sparked debate in Nigeria, with concerns raised over evidence, due process, and possible diplomatic implications. Speaking on BCOS AM 120, security scholar Dr. Michael Adeniji said insecurity in Nigeria cannot be addressed solely through military might. According to him, Systemic weaknesses and entrenched criminal networks continue to undermine intelligence gathering and effective response mechanisms. He stressed that greater investment should be directed towards strengthening the Nigeria police force, noting that budgetary allocations often favor the military, leaving the police under-resourced despite their frontline role in internal security.
Anything that has to do with American economy affects American security, and they take it very serious. Oil is the fulcrum, one of the fulcrum of American economy, because that is what fuel industries, and they don't want the oil to stop flowing. Right now, America is having a problem in Venezuela. It is tied to oil. They have a problem in Iran. It's oil tied. They are giving a helping hand to Nigeria. It is oil tied. So if you look at all that environment, and Nigerian security environment in the past 5-6 years have become dominated by Chinese fund, Chinese presence, and Chinese control, which is against American interests.
Dr. Adeniji further advocated community-based security structures, emphasizing the importance of localized policing to improve intelligence collection and rapid response at the grassroots. He recommended that local government chairmen be adequately funded and empowered to manage security concerns within their jurisdictions, describing grassroots coordination as critical to tackling insecurity.
Police station had a record of fingerprints. We're talking of the 80s.
Back then, this same Nigeria.
This Nigeria, not abroad though. Police station have fingerprint experts. They have crime investigators. That if they break into your house, they break your door, they will come and take picture. All of us knew about those things in Lagos. It was not abroad, it was here in Nigeria. Right now, the police don't even have a typewriter now. So you can imagine how much regression has taken place.
The security expert also called for the appointment of independent and outspoken auditors within the policing system to regularly review operations, expose shortcomings, and promote accountability. Dr. Adeniji maintained that without structural reforms and community participation, sanctions and troop deployment alone may not deliver sustainable security outcomes. Fedora Afolagboyi, BCOS News.
We have another short commercial. Please don't go away.
Huh? Mr. Chef, it's a two-finger crush.
Pass me the chicken and all purpose.
Mama Maka, we got this.
With Mr. Chef, a simple crush turns meals into culture and moments into memories.
This is the true taste of home.
And culture.
Mr. Chef, taste home, taste culture.
Super Malt Multivitamin Active Teens. Super Malt Multivitamin Active Teens. Shine on.
Buy any participating Coca-Cola glass or PET bottle and stand a chance to win your share of 600 million naira in cash and seriously tasty prizes. There's 2 new millionaires every single day, plus over 50 million naira in weekly prizes. It's easy. Scan the QR code. Find your unique code under the cap or tab and check to see if you've won. Coca-Cola, a recipe for wonder.
Alright everyone, no put your ears, make we talk. Time don't reach to rearrange this house to give us small wisdom. Sounds mighty fresh now, but in our own, I beg no be so. Before I go talk, say our smile no reach. Make not think I'm twice so. Ever heard of Colgate, the #1 oral care brand in the world?
Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection unlocks 24 hours cavity defense. The formula boost with calcium for lifelong smiles.
Mom, it's a time to brush. No more cover mouth.
Colgate for 24 hours maximum cavity protection.
Many thanks for staying tuned. 37 miners are feared dead following a suspected toxic gas exposure at a mining site in Company Zurak, Wase local government area of Plateau State. The incident has sparked renewed concerns over unsafe mining practices and regulation in the area. The Wase youth leader, Shafi Sambo, said he received an early morning call alerting him to the tragedy. He stated that several other miners were rescued alive and rushed to nearby hospitals for urgent medical attention, though the exact number of survivors remains unclear as of press time. While disclosing that the youths were mining zinc on behalf of a company said to be a Chinese-owned mining firm operating in the area, Sambo said the nature of the mineral being mined was not yet confirmed. Following the incident, troops of the Nigerian army were deployed to the site who cordoned off the area to prevent further access and possible exposure, as well as control the situation. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN, Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun, on Wednesday warned against blanket allegations of corruption against the judiciary, insisting such claims must be evidence-based. Justice Kekere-Ekun decried what she described as a recent troubling pattern of broad sweeping attacks against the judiciary. The CJN said the National Judicial Council remained vigilant and would not hesitate to discipline any judicial officer found wanting. Speaking shortly after she had sworn in 14 newly appointed judges of the Federal High Court, the CJN maintained that when corruption is alleged without specificity or evidence, it erodes public trust and weakens the institutional authority of the judiciary. Meanwhile, she urged the new judges to abide by the oath of their office, stressing that the appointment would expose them to heightened security, instantaneous commentary, and amplified public opinion. We now go over to the sports segment of the news. Please don't go anywhere.
Good evening and welcome to the sports segment of the evening news. My name is Toby Ajewale. The National Sports Commission, NSC, has hailed para-badminton sensation Eniola Miriam Bolaji after she soared to the top of the women's SL3 global rankings with 63,950 points, overtaking Indonesia's Konita Iktia Siakuro. The historic milestone follows a silver medal run to the final at the World Para-Badminton Championships, where she became the first African to reach a World Championship final in the sport. NSC Chairman Sheo Diko called it a landmark for Nigerian sports, while Director General Honorable Bukola Olokpade praised the Badminton Federation of Nigeria's athlete-focused approach. And in other sport news, Nigeria's Super Falcons, 10-time Women African Cup of Nations champions, will face Cameroon's indomitable Lionesses in 2 pre-tournament friendlies in Yaoundé. The clashes are set for Saturday, February 28th and Tuesday, March 3rd during the FIFA Women's International Window. The Nigeria Football Federation General Secretary Dr. Mohamed Senusi confirmed the arrangement with Fecafoot, emphasizing preparations to retain the WAFCON crown won in Morocco, as the tournament was set to take place from March 17th to April 3rd, and also hopes the team secures spots in the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil. Teams last met in a friendly before the previous WAFCON, with Nigeria winning 2-0. And in Europe, UEFA has opened an investigation into claims of racist abuse directed at Real Madrid's Vinicius Jr. during their 1-0 Champions League win over Benfica in Lisbon. The match was paused for 10 minutes after Vinicius reported alleged slurs from Benfica's Gianluca Pristiani. Pristiani denied the accusations, calling it a misunderstanding, while Benfica defended him, citing distance and video evidence. Vinicius also questioned his yellow card for goal celebration amid a flawed protocol. And in motorsport, Formula One is advancing a rule change to address rivals' concerns that Mercedes may be exploiting the new 2026 engine regulations on compression ratios. Competitors like Audi, Honda, and Ferrari suspect Mercedes exceeded the 16-to-1 limit when engines run hot thanks to thermal expansion. The proposal requires measuring compliance at both ambient and 130 degrees Celsius operating temperatures from August 1st, potentially limiting any advantage to the season's first 13 races. Mercedes principal Toto Wolff insists the design is legal and FIA approved, while Red Bull's Laurent Mekies called for clarity. A vote among manufacturers, FIA, and Formula One is expected soon. Finally, in sport news tonight from boxing legend Manny Pacquiao at age 47 will step back into the ring for a 10-round welterweight exhibition against former light welterweight champion Ruslan Provodnikov on April 18th at the Thomas and Mark Center in Las Vegas. Pacquiao, an 8th division world champion with a 62-83 pro record, ended a 4-year retirement last year with a draw against Mario Barrios and remains unbeaten in exhibitions. Provodnikov, at 42 years of age, retired in 2016 with a 25-5 record.
And that will be all, and is back to news around the world. My name is Toby Ajowole.
Thanks, Toby. Rescue teams have successfully scooped up 6 skiers amid fierce blizzard conditions in California, the western United States. This came as 9 others from the same group remained missing. Foreign news editor Folashade Akinola compiled details of the rescue operation and other foreign stories. Our report is presented by Bimbo Akomi.
Authorities in Nevada County warned that the danger was far from over, with a powerful winter storm continuing to hammer the rugged northern California mountains, and forecasters cautioning that the risk of additional avalanches would remain high through today. Earlier in the day, Captain Russell Green from the sheriff's office had warned the process would be slow and tedious because rescuers have to be very careful accessing the area due to the fact that the avalanche danger is still very high. 46 emergency responders were deployed to the scene. Photos shared by the sheriff's office showed a car parked blanketed in white flurries, where rescuers carrying skis and poles trudged through knee-high snow. The stricken group consisted of ski guides and clients. The sheriff's office clarified on Tuesday night that there were 15 skiers on the trip, not 16 as initially believed, and said no further updates were expected for the rest of the evening.
The worst conditions you could imagine, not just the cold, but the blowing snow with visibility. It's nighttime. There's just so many things. Hopefully these people, if they know how to make a snow cave and they know how to just stay put, their chance.
9 people have been arrested in France following an investigation into the murder of a far-right nationalist student by suspected militants from the far left. Those detained include a parliamentary assistant for a deputy from the radical left France Unbowed Party. Quentin Derank, a 23-year-old maths student, died in hospital on Saturday, 2 days after being beaten and kicked about the head by a gang of masked young men in Lyon.
At this stage, the investigation is seeking to identify all those directly responsible for the criminal act. This is not based on rumors, but on evidence gathered during the police investigation. At this time, no arrests have been made.
It happened after a small demonstration by far-right feminists who Derank was supposed to be helping protect at the city's Institute of Political Studies, commonly known as Science Po. The arrest confirmed what has widely been reported, that those suspected of the murder are far-left militants linked to a banned group called La Jeune Garde, Young Guard. The most striking news is that among the 9 in custody is Jacques L. Favreau, a young man who until now has been employed as parliamentary assistant at the National Assembly in Paris for a deputy from the LFI. Finally, Peru's Congress has ousted interim President Jose Jerry just 4 months after he took office for failing to disclose meetings with Chinese businessmen. The scandal unfolded last month after videos emerged of Jerry meeting several times outside his official schedule with businessman Zihua Yang, who was under government scrutiny. Jerry had previously apologized for the meetings but denied any wrongdoing and accused his rivals of a public smear campaign. His removal from office makes him the 3rd consecutive president to be ousted after he replaced former leader Dina Boluarte, who was impeached in October last year. Jerry was Peru's 7th president since 2016 amid a tumultuous political landscape that has been a succession of leaders leave the post under contentious circumstances. He was not elected by the Peruvian people, but as head of Congress was sworn in as president after his predecessor, Dina Boluarte, was impeached in October 2025. Bimbo Akombi, BCOS News.
To end news around the world, here again are the top stories. President Bola Tinubu has signed the Electoral Act 2026 amendment into law just days after the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) released the timetable for the 2027 general elections. As Muslims start Ramadan, President Bola Tinubu, governors, and the United Nations (UN) have joined global leaders in preaching a message of love, peace, and sacrifice. Again, as 2026 Ramadan and Lent seasons commence, the Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has felicitated the Muslim Ummah and Christians in the state and all over the country. We also told you that rescue teams have successfully scooped up 6 skiers amid fierce blizzard conditions in California, the western United States. The BCOS website is live. Kindly visit it at www.bcostv.com. You can also watch us on GoTV, channel 134, and on StarTimes, channel 113. Now, before I go, don't join hoodlums in threatening the peaceful coexistence of the country, for it is only in an atmosphere of peace that development thrives. That's the news around the world. Thanks for watching, and of course, Ramadan Kareem. Good night.
Mommy, relax.
Banking that's fast and reliable. A debit card that works. Enjoy unlimited free transfers.
Tell me the truth. Where is all this money coming from?